Gaston, you are positively primeval.
Why, thank you, Belle.
Gaston was probably, for me, the most difficult character to get, I think, ever. Even if I compare him to characters I did afterwards. I just didn't get him. Gaston was this male chauvinist, and he thought the world owed him, you know.
I'll have Belle for my wife.
Here are some very early sketches of Gaston, and this is what he looked like in the European treatment of the film. He is somebody who shows some arrogance already. He's somebody who wears very expensive, elegant clothes, doesn't want to get dirty, you know, just that kind of a guy. I was looking forward to do a villain, my first Disney villain. I'd done things like King Triton in The Little Mermaid, and here was a villain. And my first drawings were very villain-like looking, just like in the rough storyboards too. A guy who was very outdoorsy and masculine. I drew him with a big jaw, and I gave him a mustache, you know, and I thought he's going to be somewhat of a cartoony character, and had fun with that. And Jeffrey Katzenberg said, there's something in the way he looks that isn't quite right yet. And I said, and what would that be? And then Jeffrey said he's not handsome enough. I thought, for Pete's sakes, I was so looking forward to this, to do a classic Disney villain, and now I have to do a guy who looks like he's from a soap opera or something.
I might be able to clear up this little misunderstanding.
So I did some drawings in protest, like very straight faces, you know, realistic treatments. And I basically went back to Jeffrey and said, is this what you want? But I thought, he can't be serious. So I did these drawings out of protest. And he said, well, it's a little closer, but he wasn't happy with that either. After a few weeks, he called me into his office, and he said, the story that we're telling with Beauty and the Beast is really, don't judge the book by its cover. We have the Beast on one hand, and he's frightening and scary, and through the story, you find out he has a heart of gold. On the opposite, you have Gaston, who is very handsome.
I know.
Would be the hero type, but you find out he is somebody who's so into himself, and he even becomes a killer in the end. So those are two opposite characters, and we have to establish that graphically. One is ugly, the other one is handsome. And I remember saying, like, but if I draw him handsome, it's going to be so much more difficult. And Jeffrey said, well, nobody said it was going to be easy, and left the office. And that was it. So I had to go in and beautify the early drawings that I had done. And then in the end, I had to do something that would work for the movie, but that would also satisfy me. And I came up with something like this. And when you look at the model sheet like this, he looks a bit like Superman. But at least Jeffrey let me keep the little crooked nose, because I thought that gave it a little bit of character.
A little persuasion.
I still found my own fun in the character, you know, when he's seeing himself in the mirror. He's sort of wiping his teeth, you know, you can do a fun expression there, or doing a song, LeFou is tickling his chin and sort of reacting to that. You get these somewhat cartoony expressions in After All, because they are the ones that give it life.
As a specimen, yes, I'm intimidating.